Hi everyone, I want to give you a quick tour of using my indicator for the FTSE 100 in terms of loading it, placing orders, how to decide what time frame to place, and a quick review of how you decide your trade size. So let's just familiarize ourselves. I'm looking at the FTSE 100 here. Had I not been looking at it, and we can see up here that I know I am UK 100 M1, so I'm looking at the 1 minute chart. Now I wouldn't normally look at the 1 minute chart, so how do I decide on a time frame? Well, and I'm going to be in front of my computer, so it's easy to look at the 1 minute chart because I'm going to be looking at it. If I wasn't, I might click on the 1 month or the 1 week where the signals are less frequent and more in keeping with the fact that, for instance, if I was going to be away for a long time and so on. So 1 minute charts you look at when you know you're going to be in front of your computer. And when I look at this, I also look to see if the last few signals have been rather good and timely, because sometimes indicators, they can show a lot of volatility and whipsaw. For instance, I don't normally like looking at the 1 minute. I don't normally like looking at, say, the 15 or 30 minute. My preferential time frames are the daily and the 4 hour. But I'm in front of the computer. I'm looking at 1 minute. It's giving me trade support. So let's go back to this now. One way I could just drag and drop UK 100 over. Was it not already there? Well, it is. So therefore, it's easy. Bid ask. That's the difference between the sell price and the buy price. It's only a 1 pip difference. There. And how do we put those indicators on? Well, we would highlight confirmation arrows UK 100. We left click and we drag and drop. We drag and drop is how we do it. Let's say for some reason we need to delete the arrows from there. We would just hover above it and we would right click, he says. Let's just go back right to the end. We just had a buy signal up there, but let me just realign all of this. We would right click on the button and look to delete indicator there. There you can see when I right click it says delete, and then if I wanted to put it back in, what I would simply do is drag and drop it across. I want to always check that my connection is good by looking down there. So how do I then place a particular order? And how do I know how much to place in an order? Well, to place an order, I can either click on new order, I can double click on UK 100, or I can right click on UK 100 and then click new order. Let's say I just double click on there. Then obviously you can see the 1 point difference. You can see volume, how many contracts. We'll have to work that out in a second. So given that our last indication over here was for a short, you can see, and let's say we were right there, we would have sold, because that's what a short is, and we would have bought back when we had the exit signal around here at a lower price. In actual fact, how did that do? Well, we got in short at around the 64.55 mark, and we got out around the 64.30 mark. So we made about 25 points in the space of how long was that? About a couple of hours, 1.5 hours, 25 points. But how do we decide what volume to bet on this? Imagine on this, remember my stop loss rule. You should never lose more than 2% of your total trading capital. So if your total trading capital is £10,000, 2% of that is £200. You should never lose more than £200 if a trade goes wrong. So what is the point at which it goes wrong? Well, if it goes twice the average range of any of the time frames you're looking at, so ATR, average true range. So let's just work out what the twice the range is. Well, the range on each one of these I just estimate by eye, because if I had to work it out to the nth decimal place, then obviously there's something wrong with my methodology of trading system. But looking at by eye, I would say that each one of these ranges on average tends to be about 2.5 points. So 5 points is going to be twice the range. So from that entry point, what I would have said, short was 64.56, therefore 64.51, let's say, let's call it round number 64.50, is going to be my stop loss. So those let's say 5 points for now. Those 5 points would have to equal £200. Well, 200 divided by 5 means that each point must be 40 pounds, because £200 lost by 5-point moves means 40 points. So on a spread bet, that'd be £40 a point, or in terms of futures contracts where each pip or point is worth £10, it must be 4 contracts. So we would place an order and we would say 4 contracts is how many we would sell short at that point, and we would even put in, had we so wished, our stop loss accordingly as well at the right point. How much did we make? Well, let's say we made not 25, let's say we only made about 22, and we times that by 40, and we saw that 22 times 40, in fact just call it 20 times 40 to keep the math simple, was about £800 in slightly over an hour based on that calculation and that indicator. So that should give you a good overview how to place an order, how to see the indicator, how to delete the indicator, how to calculate your trade size, where to put a stop loss, how to check the connection on MT4. And of course, as I said, you don't have to place the order on here. You could have just placed it through your spread betting broker or whoever else.